sometimes you just have to do what it is that you enjoy to get your mind off the pain. I can sit and think about the pain, or I can do something I enjoy to boost dopamine levels in my brain. There's no masking here today for you. There's nothing I can give to you or want to. This is just how this video is going to be today, because it's the best I can give, and it's because it's real and honest and going to be mostly unedited. Any editing I'll have to do will be standing up. So this is an honest video about this topic. As some of you might know, I've had a rough few days, as you can tell, probably by the way I look. So, I really appreciate all the comments you've left. I've read every one of them and tried to heart everybody's comment just so you knew that I did read it. So I've been going through a lot the last couple days. Won't go into details, but first, my dad being in the hospital, and which turned into the ICU. So what I want to talk about is autistic or drama queen. Which is it? I think for other people, if they don't know us or they don't know what autism is, it can come across as being like a drama queen. It can come across as we're just over dramatic. So a drama queen is a person given to often excessively emotional performances or reactions. I found an article you might want to check out. I'm going to put it in the description. The title is, "No, I was never being dramatic. I actually feel things that deeply." So this is an article on the articulateautistic.com. So there's a quote on here, and it is, "I actually feel things that deeply and strongly. There was no intention behind my reactions. I was just responding to how my senses perceived my environment at the time." That is exactly how I felt when I broke down at work and I broke down at home in front of my husband and son. There was no intentions behind my reaction. It was a burst of energy that came out that I could not contain anymore. I had no choice. He goes on to say, "I think neurotypical people invalidate the emotions and experiences of autistic people unintentionally for the most part. They just don't understand," and we've talked about that on this channel before. What they don't know, and maybe you're the only person they see with autism. And it's not your place to have to explain it to them. You don't have to educate people unless you want to. If someone asks you and you feel like talking to them about it, by all means. But it's not our place to educate people if we don't want to, especially if you're trying to get through a situation. It doesn't change the fact that if they're going to think you're dramatic, they're going to think that, whether you are or not. And you're not. As you know, you're autistic. You're not dramatic. So in the end, does it really matter what they think, whether it's right or wrong? It's how you feel about yourself. And you know it's not your fault, and you can't help it. And there's no need to apologize if you have a meltdown or breakdown in front of someone. I'm trying not to do that. I did that at work. I apologized to my boss. When at home I had a little meltdown in front of my husband and son, I did not apologize. If they know, they understand. And people that love us will understand. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But I broke down at work the morning I tried to go into work on Friday, even though I knew my dad was in the hospital and I was concerned about how he was doing. I tried to go to work to distract my brain. But I was constantly thinking about it, and even though people weren't asking me how he was doing, it was in the back of my head, and I couldn't talk about it without breaking down and crying. And I broke down in front of a coworker and my boss. I broke down in front of her and told her I just couldn't handle emotions. Wasn't able to handle that, and so she said I could go home. She understood. She's really sweet. She knows I'm autistic, and then when I got home, we decided to go to Florida to be with him in the hospital, booked a hotel room, and I was packing. And when I bent down, something did not feel good. I knew instantly I hurt my back. So my husband and son were in the bathroom with me, and my husband was concerned because he'd already bought the motel room. And he just thought that I could go to the chiropractor and then the trip was still on. Meanwhile, I'm limping around and I'm in pain. And I know at that point I cannot go to Florida. And so I was standing there by my cosmetic bag, and my son is like questioning me and trying to figure things out. My husband's questioning me. And I just, at that point, just a big burst of emotion and threw my toothbrush and just, had a meltdown right there because of the pressure and all of the emotions that were happening in my mind. I had already reached my limits, and my family should know by now. They should be able to tell when I've reached my limits, because I'm not one to say much. I'm not one to speak. My communication is all jumbled. I'm not able to really communicate that well. Can't remember details. My executive functioning skills suffer. And it was just too much for me. And so when my husband saw me throw my toothbrush, he knew that I had reached my limit and he had to back off. And so that just meant the trip was off. And I did go to the chiropractor. I did get an adjustment. I was still in pain the next morning. Yesterday, I had to go to the ER. Was that today? No, it was yesterday. I had to go to the ER about that. And in 2022, I had been diagnosed with a ruptured disc. Forgot about that. Forgot that happened. And so I had agitated it. They gave me pain medication and muscle relaxers. And the whole purpose of this video was not rambling. It was about drama queen. When we're autistic, do we come across as a drama queen? Because we're not. We cannot help our emotions when we're autistic. We are not trying to get attention or get something out of it. In fact, the opposite. We don't want anybody to see us when we're like that. But if people happen to be around or provoke us through questions, it can happen. It can be an outburst that we cannot help. And it's been a very emotional couple of days. I already know I'm going to have to miss work. And, that affects my income. And I don't like missing out on my routine. Hardly anything about what I've been doing the last couple days has been routine. My eating has not been routine. My personal hygiene has not been routine. I've needed to wash my hair now for 2 days. And just the normal going about my day has not been routine. I've been trying to be upbeat and positive, and I know I'm going to be okay. I just have to trust God, pray about this, and I'm going to be okay. But in the moment, it's hard to see that sometimes when we're just feeling what we're feeling. And I don't like being on the pain medication. There's been times in my life where I was addicted to the pain medication that doctors put me on for legit back pain. So that scares me, to be honest. It doesn't scare me so much that I only have enough for a few days. That's not long enough to get addicted to it. So I'll be okay. But that scares me. And I'm just trying to do the best I can. I'll be okay. I just want to talk about it. We're not drama queens. We're not like that. We're autistic and we have trouble dealing with emotions, and it's hard. And sometimes we just shut down and we don't want to talk about it. When I have 4 and 5 people asking me my story of how I'm doing, in real life, people in front of me, I can't tell my story over and over without getting upset over and over again, reliving it. So I just can't. I do the best I can and just move on from there. So this won't be your typical video this week. This won't be the edited funness. I love to edit and do videos. And I'm standing up right now because the doctor told me I don't need to sit for long periods of time. That's probably what contributed to the injury. So this is a real video talking about what I'm dealing with. And I appreciate you telling me that you've gone through this and you understand. I've read your suggestions and your comments, and I'm going to read them again. And I thank you for this wonderful community. It's like a community. It feels like a friendship. We're growing, and people that understand each other. I understand you. You understand me, and it makes sense. So if you've watched this to the end, I appreciate it. I'm hoping by next week I'll have some more solutions. Maybe I'll be getting a table that raises and lowers, like Stephanie recommended, and see about looking into one of those. So just trying to make it through the day. I'm just in survival mode. I'm just out of routine and into survival, and more prone to breakdowns, meltdowns. Just taking it a day at a time, and just asking God to help me, and appreciating all of your prayers, and so thankful for that. And you guys are the best. The doctor told me to incorporate tummy time. I meant when he told me that, I thought he was a little nutty. Tummy time, as in like when babies are learning to strengthen their core. So this will be how I have to edit the video on my tummy, because I'm determined. I'm determined to get back into something I enjoy doing. Yes, I'm that person, the one that has the creepy dolls in the bedroom that nobody else in the house likes but me. They're just dolls, people. They're not real. This is not Toy Story in real life. I'll see you in the next video, where I'm sure I'll be feeling a whole lot better.